Going well, Coach. How are you today?
Good.
All right. We'll go ahead and if you want to make an opening statement, feel free, and then we'll go to questions.
All right. Um, a good Thursday practice. Kids had a lot of energy, zipping around. Uh, Excited for Saturday. Uh, Had a pretty solid week, I think, this week, and really excited to get down there and see us play. So, should be a great matchup. Coach Scott in his first year, doing a great job there. He has a team with a lot of ability, a lot of talent. At home, it's going to be a great challenge for us, but the kids are excited to go play.
Coach Donnie told us last night he thought in the last game the offense maybe was a little slow or sluggish. I know you talked the other day about playing hard and playing fast. When coaches talk about that, what does playing fast exactly mean? Is that with intent or passion? Or how do you kind of ideally play fast in games?
I think those are two great words. I mean, it's the way my teams have always played. They have to be trained to play that way. And it's not easy because human nature is not to give great effort. I mean, human nature is to kind of just meander along, go through the motions. People that are excel at their jobs are those that outwork their opponents, outwork their coworkers, outwork their competition. It's no different in athletics. It's no different in football. In order to do that, I think one big thing is obviously physical conditioning is a factor. You got to be in great shape in order to run and play with great enthusiasm, play with great intensity, because exhaustion, it'll take all that out of you. You got to know what to do. You see a lot of young kids play slow sometimes because they're confused or they're thinking too much, and so, you got to make sure that they're really sound with, assignments and things like that. And then, you've got to have that internal drive to compete, to be the best, to be a competitive warrior. You have to have it. And, we've all seen individuals that have it. It's really special when you have an entire unit that has it or an entire team that has it. But that is the way we want to play. We want to play with intensity. We want to play with physicality. We want to play fast. We want to run and hit on defense. We want to be aggressive on offense. That's the way that we want to play the game of football. That's the goal for Saturday night. That's the message that I left with the team as we walked off the field. That's it. If you do those things, we all understand. You got to do the other things too. You can't have turnovers. You can't have stupid penalties. You've got to force turnovers. You got to play great in execution on special teams. But I'm a firm believer that if you win the point of contact deal, if you win, the team that has the most of that in them, more times than not, you're going to win the game.
Coach, has he been able to practice at all this week?
He's been out there. We'll see how it goes this weekend.
Coach, they say you're never as bad as your worst loss and never quite as good as your last win. Talk about the attitude of this team, how it's progressed as the week has gone on, heading into the USF game.
Well, I mean, Tuesday I thought we probably had, maybe the best defensive practice we've had all year. It had all those things that Ronnie was asking about and I was talking about. I mean, it was really enjoyable to see. It reminded me of, back to my first year at the Citadel. I remember a practice just like that first year. And it's, once you can get that consistently, you're going to see, a lot of improvement. So I think, how are the kids? They're motivated. They want to win. They want to play well. They work very, very hard, for each opportunity they have on the field.
Coach, you talked a lot about playing complementary football in the past, offense, defense, special teams. It seems like maybe when the special teams is playing well and the defense is playing well, the offense is that, I know it's cliche, but is that very important to get back on that going forward? Yeah,
it all works together. I know that, you've experienced here at East Carolina in the past where you've had a dominant offense and, a very weak defense, and you've seen the results of that sometimes. I've seen it where you have a dominant defense and an offense that's not up to par. Most of the time, if you're pretty good on offense and defense, you're going to be good on special teams. So that usually works out as kind of a combination of the two. But, we want to be a complementary deal. We want it to be a deal where one side of the ball feeds off the other. And we want to be great in all three phases. That's the whole deal. And it's, that's the real critical thing right now. It's what we've all worked very hard at this week.
Do you think, kind of going on that, special teams can play a big role in this game? And you look at Jake Verity and kind of the kicking edge you have there. Tyler Snead against South Florida had a kick return. I mean, is that something you can use to spark this team or have that special teams advantage in any way?
Well, I mean, it's going to be a big factor in Saturday night's game. I mean, and with South Florida's team speed, they have some dynamic ability in the special teams, special teams return game also, and in their coverage units. So it's going to be a factor in the game. It is every week. I thought we were very good special teams wise last week. We had a couple of negative plays on kickoff return and a negative play on an extra point, but outside of that, we had a really solid game, special teams wise. So, if it's two evenly matched teams and offenses and defenses are play a fairly even game, then special teams could be the deciding factor.
Are there any other questions for Coach Houston?
Coach, as we sit here 1 week from last Thursday, what's different about the program as we head into this game versus South Florida versus Georgia State? Kind of the mindset. What's different? What's changed in a week?
Well, a lot of those guys that were, getting their first college start last week have a game under their belt. So the nervousness is not there. All those freshmen that were taking their first plane flight last Friday, they've got the experience of a road game under their belt. So, that experience will be valuable this weekend. I think that, complete roster, I just think that, I saw some more urgency this week. It's one of those things where, everybody wants to win. I don't care what school you're at. I don't care what level you're at. Everybody wants to win. But winning is hard. It's not easy. Sometimes, I think that I've been at some places where we've done it a lot and people get complacent. But you forget just how hard it is to build those programs. We've got a bunch that they are passionate about East Carolina football and about playing at a high level. And I think I probably saw more of that this week than maybe I saw last week. Hopefully we see it Saturday night.
Okay, Coach Houston, thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Talk to you Saturday.